There is no escaping ads these days. Whether you've equipped your phone and laptop browsers with an ad blocker, or you're bougie enough to be able to afford ad-free YouTube, you'll find that as you're scrolling through your Instagram feed, your TikTok For You page, or even your YouTube premium feed, there will be an influencer raving about a product they swear you need.
3 products you absolutely need in your skincare routine.
Here are some makeup products that I think everyone should have.
Random products that have completely transformed my life, part 1.
I'm convinced that there is 2 specific products that have saved my skin.
Stop scrolling, I'm about to put you on some products at Sephora.
5 skincare products you should buy.
Okay, I'm about to put you on my life-changing products. Like, you have to have them, and everyone that I recommend these, they say, Emma, you changed my life.
Companies are getting smarter. They've realized that the highly produced, highly edited ads just aren't cutting it for consumers anymore. People are craving authenticity. So they've conspired with the influencers we've come to love and worship, and even the average person, to sell their products for them and produce a more authentic and real ad. But the supposed authenticity of these ads is starting to wear off. With a looming recession, people are having to be more mindful of their spending and are stopping in their tracks before they put the money down to buy these items that these influencers claim you absolutely need. And with this, we also have the rise of the de-influencing trend. Hi, I'm Abby, aka Stargirl Online. Oh god, this is so cringy. This is my first video, my first commentary video, and it's just so awkward and embarrassing for me, but I really wanted to talk about the de-influencing trend. I feel like this is one of the most interesting trends I've had pop up on my TikTok For You page in a while, and it's just been opening up these really interesting conversations around overconsumption and authenticity in the influencer marketing age. I really wanted to talk about it and hopefully open up even more conversation. So, what is the de-influencing trend? So if you haven't been aware of the de-influencing trend, it's one of the latest trends on TikTok. I'm sure it's spread to like Instagram and YouTube now, but essentially users, particularly from the beauty space, are posting videos de-influencing you from buying products that influencers highly rave about.
We're de-influencing or whatever.
We're in my glam room. I'm gonna tell you the that you don't need.
Things influencers on this app can't convince me to buy. First up is anything Lululemon. Like, you can't convince me that I need to buy $90 leggings when the ones I buy at TJ Maxx for under 20, as long as you don't put them in the dryer. Love this conversation that people are having about overconsumption and overspending, because it's really important. As somebody who is working on getting themselves out of credit card debt, this is a really important conversation.
I am here to de-influence you. Do not get the UGG minis. Do not get the Dyson Airwrap. Do not get the Charlotte Tilbury one. Do not get the Stanley Cup. Do not get Colleen Hoover books. Do not get the AirPods Pro Max. If you do any of those things, a bomb is going to explode.
You do not need one of those skincare frother things. You have hands. They do that. DIY. Skin frother dupe. Generally do not need every single makeup product that influencers show, because they're obviously going to say it's amazing, because they get commission from it. When you buy it, they're going to convince you to buy it. You just don't need it. Use your products that are going to expire first. I think it's time we start using critical thinking skills and just thinking for ourselves a bit. You don't have to buy every single thing that is shown to you. Like, come on. And thus you have been de-influenced. Go out into this world with your new knowledge.
The de-influencing trend has also had people post about like the hordes of makeup they've collected just following all of these trends.
But at the end of the day, I'm never going to apologize for being mentally ill. I'll never apologize for that because that's something that people can't help. So
as I said, I've been through this before with beauty YouTube. These girls were literally convincing us that we needed hand sanitizer collections and candle collections and just the idea of a makeup collection. Like, that was such a normal thing to me at the age of like 11 when I got into beauty YouTube. I didn't realize how like weird and abnormal it was to have 17 different blushes that are all the same color. And I didn't think about the long-term effect of that. Like, I'm in middle school, right? Of course I didn't. But it got to the point that I was in college and I'm still influenced by these things, except the products that I bought years ago are now going bad, right? And so I'm having to throw out all of these like foundations, concealers. And the thing is, at the time that I bought them, if I had really thought about it, I would have known that I could have never, ever, ever gotten through that whole product. But it wasn't something that any of the influencers were talking about. But a couple months ago, I set kind of a resolution of sorts that I wasn't gonna buy anything if I had a comparable product in my makeup stash already. So like, I'm not gonna buy any bronzers if I have a bronzer that I like. I'm not gonna force myself to use one that I don't like. But the number of products that I would have bought by now because they were trendy is crazy. And they would almost all not be the it product at this point. So think about that when you're buying like the new Makeup by Mario foundation. There's gonna be a new one next month and you're still gonna be out of date with your Makeup by Mario foundation that's hot right now, you know?
They've been advising people to be more intentional with their spending and not give into these beauty trends that seem to change like every other day. And honestly, as they should. Like, it's become so clear that our overconsumption has had such a horrible impact on the environment, on our people. And even though we should be blaming the big corporations, I think we should also realize what role we play in capitalism and how powerful our role really is as a consumer. These companies depend on our consumption. I feel like we can leverage that. Hello, it's Abby from the future editing this video. Yes, I'm wearing the same sweater. Let's not talk about that. I just wanted to add, because apparently I didn't talk about this at all in the video, but at the same time that we have the de-influencing trend, we also have Mascaragate, which, if you're not aware of, is this phenomenon, scandal occurring on TikTok right now. Essentially, a popular beauty influencer named Michaela recently partnered with L'Oreal to promote their latest mascara. People are angry with her for a lot of reasons. The biggest reason being that it seems that she put on fake lashes in her review of the mascara, but did not disclose that. So people are calling her a lot of things, you know. And I say that she allegedly wore fake lashes in the review because she has not confirmed this. The most I could find about this is a comment that's been now deleted, where someone asks her if she wore the fake lashes, but she says like, no, it was just like all the coats of mascara that she put on. So yeah, that's Mascaragate. But there is another thing too to note. People were also mad because it didn't seem like she properly disclosed the partnership, which goes against like the FTC's guidelines on sponsorship disclosure. But it does seem that, you know, if you look at her video now, it does properly disclose it. So I hope this gives some context, because later on I do dive into people's distrust of influencers, and I feel like Mascaragate has contributed to a lot of that distrust. So yeah. So will the de-influencing trend actually change anything? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, will the de-influencer trend open people's eyes to their overconsumption and radicalize people to overturn capitalism? Probably not. I mean, since the development of this trend, there's actually been influencers de-influencing you from one product and influencing you towards another product, which is so interesting. There are videos where influencers will literally be like, okay, don't buy this. This is overhyped. This is not good quality. Buy this instead. And conveniently, you can purchase those products through the Amazon storefront linked in their bio. So yeah, probably not the end of capitalism, but we could hope. Hello, yes, it's me again, and you'll probably see me another time because this is my first video. I'm still learning how to do this. But essentially, I wanted to point something out before this part of the video potentially gets like misunderstood. One, I did not mean to specifically call out Valeria. Okay, she is an influencing queen doing her influencing thing. So, this is not like a call out post for her. I really just put her video in this video, because it was one of the first ones I saw under the tag. Really exemplifies this phenomenon I'm speaking of. But she's not the only one who's done this. There are so many other videos under the tag of influencers de-influencing from one thing and then influencing you towards another thing. My point in this video is really just to say that no, like the de-influencing trend is not the end of capitalism. It's not the end of influencing. I do though really like what Melody said about the de-influencing trend.
If you have the original thing, like the Charlotte Tilbury thing, you don't need the dupe, the e.l.f. Halo Glow. If you have the e.l.f. Halo Glow, you don't need the Charlotte Tilbury thing. This works for like any dupes. There's a reason it's called a dupe. You don't need two.
And I really hope that people are picking up on that message. But yeah, I just think it's interesting that even in a trend that's kind of being fueled by this idea that you should stop over consuming and stop buying products just because influencers recommend it, influencers are still doing their thing. They're still influencing people to buy certain products. But yeah, this is my point. I don't know, I don't want to be one of those like weird commentators who like just subtly drag everyone. So I'm like, it's a thin line. But yeah, hopefully that clears something up. I mean, I'm sure you can still consider this a subtle drag, but whatever. I tried. And is this trend the end of influencers and UGC? Definitely not, girl. Definitely not. But even if it's not the end of influencers as we know it in the very least builds a case for better regulation of sponsorship transparency. Yes, the United States Federal Trade Commission has established rules around proper sponsorship disclosure, including rules like ensuring that your sponsorship disclosure is clear and understandable, making sure that you're not talking about your experience with a product you haven't tried, and not saying a product is terrific when you really thought it was terrible. Their words, not mine. And breaking these rules can cost you a hefty fine. But the de-influencing trend seems to be exposing this idea that influencers are selling out and promoting false product reviews to their followers. So it seems like the FTC's guidelines on sponsorship disclosure aren't really being enforced as strongly, or may even need to be updated. I mean, people are leaving comments like,
why aren't influencers honest anymore? Like, when did this happen? We used to be able to trust reviews, and now we can't trust a single one. It's the end of influencers, and I'm honestly really ready for it. They're nothing more than a marketing tactic.
And they're even trying to bring back notably racist and problematic creators who were actually honest about their reviews, which honestly, side eye. Let's not do that. Like, So, is this the end of capitalism? Probably not. Is this the end of influencers? Definitely not. But I think, in the very least, this trend can make people more mindful of their spending. Although, I'm pretty sure the recession will motivate people to do that more. And I can only hope that this trend opens up conversations around serious issues like shopping addiction, why we're so desperate to hop on the latest trends, how we can be more sustainable, and maybe, possibly, just maybe, how harmful capitalism really is. But again, we can only hope. So here are my 2 cents on the trend. I personally really love it. I really do. Of course, like I said, I don't think this will end capitalism. I don't even think this will stop people from buying so much stuff. But I do think in the very least, it opens people up to their overconsumption and puts more eyes on the insane world of advertisement that we live in today. I know personally, I've been guilty of buying something just because it was trendy, and then come a few months later, I lose interest in it, I never wear it, and I end up just donating it. And my mom has called me out on this several times. So yeah, this trend really hits home. I think we just need to stop mindlessly buying things. And it doesn't have to be hard. Hear me out. This doesn't mean that you stop buying anything at all, or you stop buying things that bring you pleasure. Like, girl, go ahead, get your Starbies, keep adding to your Sunny Angel collection. But I think in the very least, we should put more thought into what we're actually buying and be more intentional with our purchases. Like, sometimes I'll ask myself, I'm like, okay, why do I want to buy this? And my answer will be like, well, because it'll make me happy. Like, come on. And that's totally valid. Like, honestly, that's like self-care. Like, you have to invest in your happiness. It's true. But I've noticed that the more I ask myself this question, I start picking up on patterns. And those patterns have been kind of scary. I noticed that I was, in fact, buying a lot of things because it was making me happy. But it wasn't even the item that was making me happy. No, it was the act of scrolling through Style, Shein, Amazon, finding products I want, putting it in my cart, checking out, getting the confirmation email, and then excitedly waiting for the package. That's what was making me happy. And I know it was because the package would get here. I'd be so excited to open the package. I'd have the item in my hands, and within minutes, I would lose interest. And it was never because the product was like defected or didn't meet my standard. No, it was just the adrenaline I was getting wasn't about having the item. It was more for the process of getting the item. That was literally so scary to find out. And I know it's not just me that feels that way. So I really had to do some soul searching and really look into what it was that brings me joy and how I can source that joy from things that didn't cost money. And at first it was kind of hard. It was, because I feel like these days you really can't do anything without spending money. Like, you can't even go outside. I'm gonna be honest. Like, life is expensive. But I did at least start pushing myself to try out new things, less expensive hobbies. You know, like going for a walk. You know. Oh my god. That is so sad. But no, for real, I started going for walks. I love riding. I picked up crochet, even though crochet is kind of an expensive hobby. But you can find ways to not make it expensive. Like, I don't know. All I'm saying is that if you also found that a lot of your joy was just coming from shopping, go look into some hobbies. You know, there's a lot of hobbies out there. I'm trying to think of some. Like, is walking outside, reading books from the library. Come on, you could. I don't know. There is hope. I swear there's hope. But yeah, overall, I think when you're mindful of your purchases, when you stop yourself before you're making a purchase and ask, okay, what will this item do for me that things I already own can't? Or how much use you'll get out of this item? Like, is this item of good enough quality where you feel like it'll last you at least a year, a couple years? I feel like when you ask these questions, you're intentional about your purchases, you will feel a difference. You'll appreciate the item more. You'll appreciate what you already have more. You'll appreciate your hard work more. You'll feel less guilty. And you'll just live a less cluttered life. At least that's what I found in the past couple of months that I've been more mindful of my spending. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on the de-influencing trend? Do you like the trend? Do you think it's stupid? I don't know. I'm sure you could go really deep with this. Like, I don't know. Capitalism. That's a big topic. Like, I would love to discuss. If you want to, like, leave a comment, I'll make sure to check it out. Let's have a conversation. But yeah, that'll be all for today. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ew. Love you. Take care. Bye bye.